So all of the video footage from that little silent movie skit was filmed with the Fujifilm X100V, and I just filmed it in the Acros film simulation, which is what I'm filming with now. But yeah, basically my wife booked like a little getaway for my birthday to this small town called Harwich, it's pronounced, I believe. She hadn't really done any research into it, and when she told me where it was, I had like a little Google, and it turns out it's voted the second most dangerous town in the whole of Essex. Which made it even more exciting. When we got there, it was actually just quite a quiet, deserted coastal town. You know, the whole of the old town where we stayed was all of like 5 or 6 roads. It was really small, and actually every road had like 10 pubs on it. It was just this like small town full of pubs. Yeah, there wasn't much to do there, and we basically just kind of ended up doing this like little photo walk / pub crawl, you know, like stopping in bars, having a drink, going and taking some photos, which is every photographer's dream, really. So she had the Fujifilm X100V, which she was shooting with, and I had my Fujifilm GFX50R with a Voigtlander 58mm lens. And like I say, yeah, we were just kind of walking about. The rain kind of kept stopping and starting, so we had to keep going inside to have some drinks and then come back out and do some walking. I could have brought a film camera with me, you know, I've got all manner of different film cameras I could have brought along, but I've been having kind of like an internal battle recently with how I am going to treat and use film going forwards. Unfortunately, as great as film is, you know, I've been shooting it for the past few years. My whole YouTube channel only exists because of film photography. Like, if you're here watching me now, you're probably only here because you clicked on a video about film photography in the past. However, it is a very wasteful medium, and it is, you know, quite harmful to the environment, and it is super fucking expensive, right? When you get into large format, the problem is it's really hard to go back down. I can't even look at a 35mm negative on a light table anymore. It's just not the same. When you're shooting large format and you're looking at like the detail and the negatives and stuff like that, it's hard to use any other film format. And unfortunately, large format is the most expensive format as well. You know, it cost me like £50 for a box of 25 sheets of black and white film. Or if you're shooting colour, Christ, it's like £50, £60 for 10 sheets of film. So it's just crazy expensive. And on top of that, you know, the more I look into it, the more I realise like the manufacturing of the film cameras, the manufacturing of the film, you know, the actual usage of the chemicals to develop the film is so harmful for the environment, and I can't bring myself to just shoot it willy-nilly anymore. You know, I became a vegan at the start of the year solely for environmental reasons. Being a vegan and doing that for environmental reasons, it makes it hard for me to then think, oh, well, you know, I'm doing that so I can just be really wasteful with these chemicals. So yeah, I'm just going to, you know, try sticking to using it for specific purposes going forward. You know, if I'm shooting a long-term project, if I've got a client that's paid for me to use the film, then obviously I'll use it. Any specific shoots or anything I've got in mind, but just not use it kind of willy-nilly. You know, don't use it for like photo walks where digital would be fine. Don't use it for, you know, capturing my kids and stuff and taking pictures of them as they grow up, because, you know, digital, again, is fine. You can almost get super close to the look of film with digital nowadays. In fact, actually, I've worked very hard at matching my digital black and whites specifically to my film black and whites, you know, putting them side by side and trying to get like a preset that I use in Lightroom that I made myself to look exactly like film. So I've got these two 4x5 presets, which works really well with the GFX camera I use. So my GFX50R, I have a 58mm Voigtlander f1.4 lens on there. Due to the conversion rate of using a 35 full frame lens on a medium format sensor, it actually gives me more like a 40mm f1 in terms of depth of field. So actually I'm almost getting that sort of large format look by shooting digital. So, you know, although for project works and stuff where I want to shoot large format going forwards, I will do. For just kind of going out and about or maybe like doing some test shots, I can actually just use digital, and it saves me money and it saves the environment. So yeah, basically I just kind of decided to really cut down and be more conscious with how I use and shoot film going forwards. I'm going to be predominantly sticking to just using black and white film. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have noticed that I've deleted every colour photo from my feed. More so for consistency, but just because going forwards I'm going to stick to black and white for all my personal work, black and white film or black and white digital. To be honest with you, it's just more for preference for me. Like anytime I'm scrolling through Instagram or looking at other people's work, it's always the black and white stuff that really makes me stop in my tracks and stands out to me. Everyone has a personal preference, and I like colour work when done correctly, but black and white removes that distraction for me, and it helps me to kind of focus more on emotion and lighting and stuff like that. So obviously, I just wanted to quickly let you guys know, if you're following me on social media and you're noticing all my photos are now black and white, that's why. It's because I'm just sticking to predominantly using black and white. And if you're wondering why I'm sharing maybe a bit more digital than I used to, that's also why. I'm just trying to cut down on my usage and not be wasteful. Plus it's just effing expensive. But yeah, that's me. I've got another long-term project I'm about to start soon, and that's going to be done over the space of a few years, but I'll do a separate video talking about that. In terms of my last project, the Southend project, which ended up being the book The Winter We Walked Alone, that I should have that in the next couple of weeks. Unfortunately, there was some delay with the printers. There was some cock-up with some colours and stuff like that. Who knew that getting black and white pictures printed would be so difficult? But yeah, I'll talk about that in another video as well. I wanted to keep this one quite short. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought about that little skit silent movie at the start. And yeah, please let me know your thoughts on your own film usage. You know, do you think that you could cut back? Do you think you could shoot less? Do you need to shoot that roll of film for a photo walk that you're going to get, you know, like 36 photos out of that you never do anything with? It's a bit wasteful. Do you need to shoot film for documenting your family? Could you just shoot digital? You know, like, I think there's a lot of film photographers that rely on the fact they shoot film as a crutch. You know, like so many times, again, I'm scrolling through Instagram and I'll see a photo and, you know, it's out of focus or poorly lit or poorly composed or just shit. And because it was shot on some expired portrait, the person thinks it's a banging photo. It's not. It's still a shit photo, which you could have taken on digital. But yeah, I'll leave you with that thought. Let me know what you guys think, and oh yeah, see you in the next one.